welcome to Overdrive. You're watching the show with me, Soini Dutt. Now, when BMW launched the X6 in the Indian market a decade ago, the coupe body style for SUVs was relatively unheard of. But since then, this has become very popular with SUVs across various segments. And which is why BMW decided to expand its coupe SUV range with the new BMW X4.
It's not a new nameplate, but the first generation BMW X4 only lasted 3 years. This is the all-new X4 based on the new X3, which in itself is a very capable car and a handsome one at that. Like the new X3, the 5 and the 7 series, the X4 too is built on the BMW CLAR architecture, which has helped it lose weight and appear sleeker than the model that it replaces. The attention to detail makes it appear distinctive from every angle, and elements like the grey inserts in the front bumper, the sculpted rocker panels which look butch, and a matching design for the roof spoiler contribute to that effect. BMW is offering the X4 in a choice of 4 colors, and I happen to spot the white one, a color that is very popular in luxury cars, but for the X4, it doesn't really cut it. It makes it look more like a competitor to the Volvo S60 Cross Country. It looks like a sedan on stilts, and that is not what this car is. It's much more sportier in intent, and that intent gets highlighted with the darker shades like the one you see behind me, or the sportier shades, the red or the blue. Those colors also highlight the various lines of the X4. The straight pinch creases on the side give the design a sense of forward motion, while the sharp tail lights, the sleek diffuser and the inset reflectors tilt the X4 more towards BMW sports car designs than SUVs. In India, BMW is only offering the X4 in its M Sport trim, which is good news in my books because it bumps up the aggression, gets you the blue M calipers and also peppers the car all around with the M badges, which further contributes to the sportier stance of this car. The cabin is welcoming like most new-age BMWs, though a bit tighter than the X3 as expected. This is a driver's car, and in typical BMW fashion, the dashboard and all the controls are driver-centric. The infotainment is crisp and rich in colors, and one of the easiest to use and understand. I like the kind of materials that have been used inside this cabin. It has a very pleasing and a very flamboyant vibe to it, and it goes with the sporty styling and the intent of this car. My only little grudge is if I was buying, I would spec those switches to have a black finish like you have on some of the other BMWs and not get that satin finish. Too many shiny objects in there and it looks a little cluttered to me. But I like the kind of inlays that they've used. I like the colors that have been used for the upholstery and the kind of options that they have on the brochure as well for you to choose from. Space management, well, like I said, it's a driver-centric car and that shows the moment you get into the back seat. The coupe roofline obviously robs it of some of the headroom, so if you're a tall person, you may not appreciate this headroom. But for the average Indian height, it works extremely well. What I also appreciate is that you get a recline function to an extent on the rear seat back, which is again a good thing for long distance comfort. But this is a driver-centric car. This is not for the chauffeur-driven type. So if you are looking at a chauffeur-driven vehicle, the X3 would still make for a better sense over the X4. But if you're going to be in the driver's seat more often, the X4 it is. The cabin has 3-zone climate control, a panoramic roof, wireless charging and a Harman Kardon audio unit to pamper the occupants. The safety of the cabin is ensured by 8 airbags and a host of active safety tech like ABS with EBD and cornering brake technology, traction and stability control and run-flat tires. In India, the BMW X4 can be had with 3 engine options. There are 2 diesels and a petrol, all powerful, torquey and quite efficient. But the one that complements the athletic stance of this car is the 3-litre diesel. It's got an inline 6-cylinder configuration and a high degree of refinement. So it's not only pleasing to the ear, but also quite fun to drive. In fact, it is the quickest engine that you can spec the X4 with in the Indian market. And that performance achieves a perfect balance between driving fun and good efficiency. That is what makes it a better choice than the other two. BMW claims a 0 to 100 km/h time of 6 seconds flat, but our test car went even quicker than that at 5.7 seconds. To that effect, the X4 xDrive 30D also gets a launch control. Both the 30 badged variants of the X4 come equipped with a sportier tune for the 8-speed automatic transmission, which further contributes to the driving fun with shorter shift times. All the variants of the X4 come with the xDrive all-wheel drive, which means that in typical BMW tune, it is rear biased. Add to it the electronic differential and the other BMW trait of a 50-50 weight distribution, and you have at your fingertips an SUV that goes around corners as fast as it looks. These dynamics had left us impressed in the new X3, and the X4 only pushes that envelope further. In fact, it also highlights why we so badly wanted the 3-litre engine on the X3 to be as fun as the badge on the hood. Both the 3-litre engines, the petrol and the diesel, come with a sportier tune for the 8-speed automatic transmission, and that contributes further to the driving fun with shorter shift times. The steering feel isn't typical BMW. In comfort mode especially, it feels a little over-assisted, but if you want the classic feel of a BMW steering, just scroll up to the sport mode, and that will fix everything. I like the braking feel on the new X4. It's perhaps the most progressive brakes that I've experienced on any new BMW that is not tuned by the M division. You know, that wooden feel that the BMWs had with the regenerative braking, all that is gone, especially at city speeds or triple-digit highway speeds. This one feels a lot more confident. The brake pedal feel is a lot more progressive, and that is a very good thing. I quite like the BMW X4, and for more reasons than one. It has most of the elements that I've liked across various new BMWs in the past couple of years. It has the gesture controls and the display key like the 7 Series, a flamboyant cabin like the 5 Series, reclining rear seats like the GTs, and an exemplary performance from its 3-litre engine and the superb driving dynamics that I loved so much in the X3. It has quite a unique design too that turns heads wherever it goes. The X4 certainly deserves that attention, and I think BMW has delivered an all-rounder here.